Everybody's Steph from the Hot One Podcast. So we're getting to the point of, this part of the NFL season or up and coming NFL season or, right before we get to the draft of just, oh man, top prospects being broken down, right? Look, man, people are going to find reasons not to take, who are people considering a top quarterback. I still consider Sheduer Sanders the top quarterback in this NFL draft. You know what? People are nitpicking. People are going to start trying to find every flaw not to take him. And honestly, I think it's a good thing. Right now, the latest about Sheduer Sanders is that when I say good thing, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. They're saying that he's brash and arrogant. I mean, I'll say this: when I see Sheduer Sanders after games, during the game, post game, and stuff like that, I don't see brash. I don't see arrogant. I really don't. I see someone who's confident, like this article is mentioning. Yosina Anderson, NFL reporter or insider, mentioned about this article, and she had a long tweet on her X account of just kind of like how one particular quarterback coach she won't named him these things. Yet people were very fond of Shedeur during his combine, and went out his way to address the media members and stuff like that. I mean, calling him brash and arrogant, he's already kind of media savvy and kind of polished already. And we know who his father is, as if his father didn't prepare him for what this could be, right? I mean, I know we're not going to be foolish and think that Deion Sanders did not already have prepped Sheduer Sanders on, they're gonna dig in, they're gonna find ways to tear him down or at least criticize him and stuff like that. And it's not that Sheduer Sanders is above criticism. I think it's fair to criticize his game and everything, but because probably a lot of his heat or this particular quarterback's coach who had to call him brash and arrogant, probably is because of who his father is. Okay, he made a lot of money in NIL in college. Okay, that's for me. That's like I don't again, interpretation, right? How does that become brash and arrogant? Okay. Last season, I know he said some things about the offensive line and stuff like that, but the boy's getting pummeled. Now, there are people who assess his game and say that it was very possible that he was holding on to the ball too long and stuff like that. He's getting rocked upside the head a lot, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have room to grow. Okay, and he's learned from that, right? This season, he learned from that. Not only did he learn, they had a better record, right? And he didn't throw his team under the bus or anything like that this season, so he's allowed to grow and mature and still mature, but he already seems mature, wise beyond his years, and partly because of who his father is, right? And when I say it's a good thing that stuff like this gets out, is because good. I hope the top teams that are in a position that need a quarterback don't get him, right? Go somewhere where there's already talent. Let him drop, and go to a fall to a lower tier team, a team lower in the draft that has a much stable situation, right? You know what I'm saying? The Pittsburgh Steelers, look, people are saying that he's not going to be in the first round, whatever. That's great, man. I hope Sheduer Sanders falls to us as a Steelers fan. You know what I'm saying? Sheduer Sanders, I don't see someone who is super fast. I don't see someone who has this crazy elite arm. I see. But he's good enough in a lot of areas, though. He can be mobile when he needs to. He can make the appropriate passes when he needs to, right? I see him as an all-around quarterback that can just get the job done, right? You don't see something where he's super strong at. Maybe his mentals, probably. You know what I'm saying? His ability to prepare, be locked in, leadership, a lot of things that aren't tangible, or like a lot of things aren't tangible in terms of like the physical attributes, but the mental attributes are considered strong tangibles too, because what you lack in some of the physical attributes, you can make up intangibles, right? I'm tired of just these are your prototypical quarterbacks and stuff like that come in and they don't do well, right? Look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence come in and he prototypical 6'6", arm, mobile. Look where they at now. All of it depends on the situation. Can't put it all on Trevor Lawrence, right? Justin Herbert, great, met all the metrics, right? Why is he not in a perennial championship contender, right? If he's considered to be as great as he is, you know what I'm saying? Very hard very hard to do in the NFL, coming in as a quarterback and assessing these quarterbacks as well, man. I just think the criticism is just a little goofy right now, but it's expected. It's par for the course. I think a lot of this is coming from the fact that, he is Deion Sanders' son and how Deion Sanders carried himself. And, people are already expecting. I know Shedeur, he doesn't act like his dad at all. It seemed like he's his own person. It seemed like his dad has done a good job. He's done a great job, right? But this is what happens when, quarterbacks. Listen, man, I'm gonna say this, right? I'm not gonna get into certain conversations about this, but there are times where you see quarterbacks that come out of nowhere and they're praised for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, and then they put on a good front, and then once they're in the building, they're not performing, number one, and then you start seeing some attitude problems, right? You start seeing some arrogance and brashness, right? You rather have somebody like a Sheduer Sanders who is comfortable in his own skin and showing you who he is up front, right? And if you don't like who he is up front and don't think it fit in your organization, okay, then don't get him then. And to say brash and arrogant for a guy who helped lead the team and won offensive player of the year in his conference and stuff like that. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want someone who is a little brash, right? If that's the case, right? A little arrogant at the spot, right? Not that he's above reproach, but you want someone that is supremely confident, right? Coming into your organization, and is going to do the work and is going to be super confident in his abilities. And you want that brash and arrogance to rub off on other players in a good way, right? You know what I'm saying? But, this is the weird part of the combine, this part process of the draft, you know what I'm saying? Where, Sheduer may not go in the first round, and, you're going to hear more things about his measurables is not good and stuff. Good. I like that, because then it's like, good. Then if you're a top team, the Giants don't want him. I mean, the Giants, haven't selected a quarterback like Shedeur historically. They don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised the Giants are trying to go the Aaron Rodgers route, possibly, right? I think Sheduer Sanders is going to have a good career. I really do. I saw enough in college for me to show that he's the best quarterback in this draft. I didn't watch too much Cam Ward. People say Cam Ward is a little bit better, possibly. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? All these guys are prospects. But I do find interesting that, considering that the two quarterbacks in the draft, or the two quarterbacks, are of a different demographic, we're getting one that's being brash and arrogant, though, right? You know what I'm saying? As opposed, and that came out of nowhere, right? I mean, you can make the case. I mean, sure, I can see it in some people's eyes that it can look that way. To me, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. I see a young player who supremely confident, comes from a good background, knowing who his dad is, one of the all-time great players in the NFL, right? How can you not be brash? How can you not be arrogant? I call that confidence, right? When you have a father like that, right? But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all think it is? Do you think he is? Sheduer Sanders is brash? He's arrogant, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's really weird at this part of the draft where people just find ways to just tear people down. But I'm sure Sheduer Sanders was prepared by his father for this to happen. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.